Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today is Saturday, the 13th of July. We are traveling back from Tuzla to Sarajevo with Sister Emina and Sister Nejra. Sister Nejra is the one who is driving the car now, and she's driving us to heaven, inshallah. And Sister Nejra, Sister Emina is behind me. I can see your head. Yes, that's it. Okay. Alaikum salam. We just finished a tour in Srebrenica 2 days ago to commemorate the 29th anniversary of the massacre in Srebrenica. And we came to Tuzla with a big group from Canada, young volunteers, who came to learn about Bosnia, about justice, about what happened to the Bosnian people during the war, and to visit the projects of Islamic relief. Today we're going to Sarajevo, inshallah, in the company of our sisters, actually, to have some more meeting in Sarajevo. Now, both sisters have got a lot of questions to ask and to benefit all of us. We can start with the first question from Sister Nejra.
So, Dr. Hani, you told us we can ask anything about like our even private lives, our families and our careers and everything. So I have one question that is, I believe, important, especially for young parents nowadays and Muslim parents, and that is like, what would be your advice, as you also are a parent, and what would be your advice for young parents, Muslims nowadays in such a challenging world? Like how to raise our children in order to be good people, good Muslims, good with everyone, that they inshallah should be successful in this dunya and akhirah, inshallah.
Thank you, Sister Nejra. First of all, the mother or the wife should choose a good husband. Without having a good father and a good mother at home, the children cannot learn from school or from the community. The best teacher is the mother and the father. The mother is the one who give the values, the akhlaq, which is the manner, the etiquette to the children. And the mother actually is very important to look after the children, especially in the first 5 to 10 years. She will always be the teacher. She will always be the teacher wherever she is with the family, whether they are in the west or in the east. She is the one who will be able to plant the seeds of akhlaq, manner, of values in the heart of the young child. So for the young couple who are married recently, my advice for the sister and for the brother, as the Prophet ﷺ said, if you want to marry a woman, there's 4 things that you marry her for. First of all, her religion, how good she is in religion, which should be the mother. Second is her family. Okay. Third is her beauty. Yani. Fourth is her wealth. But the Prophet ﷺ advised us to marry the one who has the deen, the religion, because she is the one who will protect the family, bring up the family, and bring up the children, and keep the family together. And the advice to the daughter, the sister, when she married the man, she married the man who has the deen. Prophet ﷺ put the condition of the deen, because he is the custodian of the family, the protector of the family. That's why deen is the most important thing. Nowadays, Sister Nejra and Sister Emina, our daughters go for the good-looking man who is maybe have sense of humor and handsome and but they don't look sometimes for the deen. And when they live together, and when she gives him or he gives her what is the most precious thing in her, which is her honor, actually she discovered that he is not the right man, or he discovered that she is not the right woman, because he married him. She's beautiful. Okay, beauty goes when the woman becomes old, when the man becomes old. Okay, but manner and deen stay forever, and manner and deen of both parents go actually till you bring up your children and look after them. And look at, you have been giving me some examples about your grandfather, your grandmother, and so on. And even when we met with Sabina, the daughter of Ali Izabegovich, she spoke very much, very high about her grandmother, how she was very religious, and she is the one who taught Ali Izabegovich, may Allah be pleased with his soul, in Islam and the Deen. So, to be very honest, second point is marriage is not about a love relationship between a husband and wife. It's not a bedroom relationship. It is responsibility. It is responsibility of maintaining the family, supporting the family, protecting the family, directing the family, and not only that, actually the bigger family, like your in-laws and his in-laws. I give you a funny example. In the good old days, happened in Egypt. One of the great scholars of economy from the University of Cairo, he was mentioning this about how his grandfather married his grandmother. This may be more than 100 and 150 years ago. At that time, man was allowed to look at the girl before the wedding. Okay. What happened? His mother and his sisters and his auntie can go there to the family. Okay? And as you see these houses, you know these houses on the road, as you see these houses, okay? The mother and the daughters went to a house thinking that it is the house of Mr. Ahmed, the father of the future wife of her son. They knocked the door. The brothers opened the door, sorry, and of course they invited the woman to come to the front room, because the woman should not actually sit with the men at that time. They came to the front room. He went, the brother of the wife went to his mother, tell him there's some woman in the front room. The mother came and sat down, welcoming them. You know what happened? Actually, the guest who came with her daughters told the host, which is the mother of the wife in this house, is this the house of Mr. So and so? She said no, it was not the house. You got it, Sister Amina? It is next door.
No.
The woman was tired. I said, okay, sit down. Said, do you have a girl who was at the age of marriage? The host, which is the mother, said, yes, I have. He said, okay, fine. Can we see her? And I said, okay, fine. And whatever, call her Amina or Emina Nejra. Come on, get ready, daughter, and come to see this woman. And the woman and her daughters looked at the young girl, said, yes, she's good, she's beautiful, good house. Okay, can I propose her to my son? So she's not go to the other house.
Yeah.
He said, why not? And this is how this scholar called his his name, I can't remember him now. He was a professor in Cairo University. I said, that's how my grandmother married my grandfather. They were marrying the family. That's why in hadith by the Prophet ﷺ, he said, إياكم وخضراء الدمن. Be careful of marrying somebody who is خضراء الدمن. He said, what is this خضراء الدمن? خضراء الدمن is a beautiful girl, the most beautiful and most attracted in the wrong family. So don't go there because she takes the manner and the ethics from her mother and their father. This is to answer you. Marriage, Sister Emina, for your children, and Sister Nejra, is not just a relationship between a husband and wife. It's responsibility, heavy responsibility. It's patience, actually, and it's like lifelong relationship. This is to answer your question.
May we have a dua for all Muslims to have, harmonized marriages, to live very nice with their husbands and wives, and that may Allah guide them to the right path, and also to them and to their children.
Ameen.
Can you make dua for this?
For me?
Yeah.
All right.
For all Muslims.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all our young families. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support them, guide them, especially the mother.
Ameen.
Because the mother is the one who is actually bringing the family, and may Allah give them good deen, good akhlaq, good ilm, inshallah, keep the children, the second generation, in a very good situation. Okay. Any other questions, Sister Nejra or Sister Emina, regarding the maybe Islamic relief, or regarding the charity work, or regarding Bosnia?
Yes, I have a question that could be related to what we were talking about, the
Yeah.
topic of women and the topic of, we just went to Srebrenica, and that was, the women were left after the war. My question is, as women, as a mother, it is very important to me that my children see that the work that I am doing is work that is of value and work that is inspiring to them. Dr. Hani, what are your thoughts in regards to what do women specifically bring to Islamic relief and to humanitarian work? What is the advantage?
Yeah. Thank you, Sister Emina. As I believe strongly that any organization must have three components: men, elderly and elderly women, then young men and young women. So we have youth, we have elderly, and we have women. You cannot function in any social organization or any humanitarian organization or any educational organization without women being a part of the structure of it. Why? Because if we look at who is the woman, who is the young man, and who is the man. The man, the elderly people, could carry the wisdom, okay, and the experience, which is actually something good that we need. It's number one. The woman, as young or old, carry the emotion, the love, the care, and the dedication and commitment and tediousness, because women all the time are very, very particular of doing very, very small things. They look at the details. Okay? Young men having the energy, the power, the risk. So we cannot afford to have an organization which does not have the three. I call this organization is a failing organization. Not only that, in the case like Bosnia, where there's a lot of refugees and lot of displaced people came here and there, lot of trauma, lot of orphans and widows. Here, I speak loudly by saying that certain job in the organization, man cannot do it. He can do it, but I will give the priority to women to do it. First of all, the orphan carer, the orphan and widow carer should be a woman. Should be a woman. The orphan officer should be a woman. The orphan manager should be a woman. This is number one. Number two, for the psychosocial support, what do you call it? PSS, should be a woman. Okay? That's number two. Number three, for the refugees, actually the officer who goes to sit down with the displaced people, displaced women, and children, should be a woman. You might ask me why you are against men. I'm not saying I'm against men. I'm saying because of the nature of the woman, she is more better received than men when she deal with this very vulnerable group. It's number one. Number two, the child, the widow, and the displaced, and the people who need psychosocial support will be safe in the hand of a woman, or safer in the hand of the woman than in the hand of the man. It's number two. You can keep telling me why you are against men. I'm saying I'm not against men because men can do other things as well. Or if you insist, men should be supporting the woman who is in charge in these three things. Why? The big question. The big question, Sister Emina, and this for you. I don't know how old were you when the war started in 1992? 6. So then you might have left the country, as you said. And how old were you when starting the war?
3 years old.
3 years old. At that time, Bosnian community came out from communism and socialism. And free mixing and free whatever sex and all this sort of thing was there. There was no proper deen in the country. Unfortunately, and I'm saying it, unfortunately, I'm saying it, some people took advantage of the woman because they are vulnerable. Whether from United Nations peacekeeping forces or even from some filthy, dirty relief workers. We saw it. And because the culture allowed it, actually young girls they take advantage of them. For this, I said, no way I allow it to happen again. This number one. Number two, the trust that another refugee as a woman or a child have in a woman. I give you the example, Sister Emina. We went to North Kenya, a place called Mandera, in 2005. Was a group of long bearded men to visit some of this area with the camps there called Mandera. And when the woman looked at us, a Somali woman, they were a little bit respectable and taking a back seat. But the children were crying. We don't want to see us. Because long beard, men and others. This is what happened. The following year, we decided to take 3 young girls with us. 1 from America and 2 from UK. We went to some other places in Niger, Mali and Chad. You know what? The reception of the young boys and women were absolutely different. The children were sitting on the lap of the young girls coming from America or from UK. This is nature. So why you create jobs that works against nature? This is number 2. Number 3, when we look at my first visit to Afghanistan was 1998. and you only see there men and young children. I saw young children with blue eyes, green eyes, fair skin, more fair skin than yourself, blonde hair and gingy hair. I said, what? What is European doing here? They were not European. They were Afghani. Nowadays, Sister Emina, young men are taking advantage of the Syrian widows. You know how they know that the mother is beautiful? How? Answer.
How they know?
Yeah, and the mother is wearing niqab, covered body and face, but they know that she's very beautiful. The mother. How?
By the eyes, I know.
No, I said covered, totally, niqab.
How do they know?
You ask me.
Because of the children, maybe.
That's it. When the man looks at the child or the daughter or the boy, oh my God, can I talk to your mother? Because behind the clothes, there's a beautiful woman. And this filthy, dirty man, which is amongst, he could be the only bad apple, Sister Emina. That's why I would have to make rule that you shouldn't approach these vulnerable people. Whether they need psychosocial support, whether they need support. And here, coming back to Islam, Islam asked us to regulate the relationship between man and woman in the normal circumstances, when the woman is free to speak and strong to talk. But what will happen when the woman becomes very vulnerable with 5 or 6 children that she wants to feed them? That's actually the answer. That's why I don't allow men to lead orphan department or psychosocial support department. Yes, sister. Any other questions?
How would you empower these vulnerable categories? What would you say? Like how to empower them so that they raise their voice, especially vulnerable mothers and other vulnerable categories? What would you do, like in the humanitarian work? Because that is also one of our jobs, right? Not only just to help them, to support them, but also to this psychosocial support and everything. We are empowering them to have their voice and to raise their voice and like to have more self-confidence in order to fight for improved lives of their children. Like how to empower them.
Yeah. The most important first step in empowerment is economical empowerment. If you are not hungry, you can think. If your children are not hungry, you can think. If your maybe sisters and brothers not hungry, you can think. This is number one. That's why you have to have the economic empowerment, first of all. Don't talk about lecturing them about rights, democracy. This is not the right time. The first thing, look at the woman as a source of very resourceful individual, source of talent, and ask her, instead of giving her a handout to feed, to give clothes, no, enough is enough, not anymore. Tell her, sister, what good can you do? Can you do very good cooking, sweets? Can you do painting? Can you do embroidery? All this kind of talents. And you train her to become economically empowered. Okay? And you have two options after that. Either you create a local market, community market, and give her a place to sell what she produces every day, or you take the product from her and sell it on behalf of her. Once the woman who is a widow actually have money to feed the children, to look after them, she will be able to speak up. But before economic empowerment, you cannot actually keep just training them and tell them this is your right. Yes, we will keep teaching her how to do things, how to get her rights, but at the same time, we have to make her economically empowered. So if I go back 40 years ago from the very beginning, Sister Emina and Sister Nejra, I say I will start the work with livelihood program. Livelihood program. Each family should have the ability to create its own income. This handout is good but not good enough. Very expensive because they give you maybe the best food, but it lasts with you for a few hours or a few days or a few weeks. But if I can give you a net to fish or a cow to milk and make cheese and butter and all these sort of things, or goats, or I give you a piece of land you can cultivate, and you start to sell everything, or a greenhouse, and you start selling your product. That means that you can speak up. After that, you go for different trainings, different workshops, different rights, and all these kind of things. But without economic empowerment, you cannot actually get the woman her rights. Yes, Sister Emina?
I have a question about, can you tell us a little bit about your time in Bosnia in 92? But if you could tell us the start, before you got here, how you felt when you were doing the news, how was it all? Take us back to that time.
Okay, we started responding to Bosnia 1991, December. Because I had friends. Somebody called As'ata was a journalist and he was interested in Balkan and he was living in Germany. He was talking all the time about Balkan. The second one was Muhammad Katarji, was the first director of Islamic Leads in Sarajevo. As'ata connected me to Muhammad Malik or Muhammad Katarji in Sarajevo. Those two people, I knew the issue of Bosnia is coming since 1990-1991. In December 1991, we sent one of the young people here to Sarajevo because the war was between Croatia and Serbia at that time. And he met Marhamat, met Mashayikhat, and he gave about $10,000 for the people in Bosnia here to try to help the people coming to Sarajevo. This 1991. I traveled in the Gulf, Sister Emina, to tell the people 1990, 1991 war will happen. Not because I knew it, but because As'ata and Muhammad Malik were feeling what will happen here at this time. So when the war started in 1992, okay, we appointed Muhammad Malik to be responsible for the office in Sarajevo. There was no office. He was just working from home or from any government office, any space. And we opened an office in Zagreb because nobody could be able to come to Sarajevo.
Zagreb?
No, Zagreb.
So in Croatia?
Yeah, because none of us could come to Sarajevo. Sarajevo was under siege from 1991 when the war started in April or May 1992. So my first visit here, Sister Emina, was to Zagreb, to Split, to Chernomir, and Bosanski Brod, Slovenski Brod in Croatia, isn't it?
Slovenski Brod is in Croatia, Bosanski is in
at the border.
yes.
And we saw all the displaced people in this area. Mainly young girls, old women and young children. Okay? And this is how we started. We could not be able to come to Sarajevo to help people there. And all our work was through the office in Zagreb. And we started to build it.
So then what it was? 1991, 1992?
1992, after the war.
Okay.
We used to come many times in 1992. by September 1993, we managed to get a permission from the United Nations to go to Sarajevo by the UN planes. I traveled there in September 1993 to meet Muhammad Malik for the first time in Sarajevo, and to meet Ali Izabegovic for the first time in Sarajevo in his office. But because Sarajevo was siege, we could not be able to come every day. We come when United Nations allow us to visit the office in Sarajevo. This is how it started in Bosnia, Sister Emina. Then we have offices in Tuzla, have offices in Zenica, and offices in different places in Bosnia, and Mostar as well
Mostar.
at that time.
What do you think? It happened once, and if it was to happen again,
If it was to happen,
what would be your response? How would you respond again? You have the experience of last time. How would you respond again? Hopefully, it will never happen again. But how would you respond again if you could do it all over again?
unfortunately, sister, people are expecting it to happen again. Not because it's the Serb, but because of the